Dice and Pizza contains descriptions of peril, natural disasters, and kaiju. Content warnings can be found in the episode description.
Hello, wayward listeners, and welcome back to Dice and Pizza, a quest show that follows Zaba, Driftwood, and Ernie, a ragtag band of strangers who are chasing after Tang Kai, an ancient dragon bent on bringing back the 100 Years of Sun to the world of Mirios. My name is Derek, he, him pronouns, and I will be your guide for today's journey. As usual, for those who are unfamiliar with the game of Quest, or tabletop role-playing games in general, Quest is a game system that uses one 20-sided die, or also known as a D20. A 1 is a catastrophe, and a 20 is a triumph with a gradient of successes and failures in between. Instead of skills, you have abilities that you spend 8 adventure points, or AP, to activate. The game focuses on character and world building. That's about all you need to know, and what's really important is the story, and of course, the players.
Hello, I'm Mya Worrell, they, them pronouns please, and I play Zaba, the party's naturalist. He's the masked guardian of Kokuru, chosen by the god Banin at birth. This responsibility makes him, well, serious, maybe, but behind the mask you sense a curious individual.
Kumusta, cowpokes. My name is Justin, he, him pronouns. I'll be playing Driftwood, they, them pronouns. Driftwood is the party doctor. People notice their seafoam skin, tattoos, and luxurious dark blue pompadour. Driftwood is an offbeat nomad from the island village of Noro, looking to travel and learn and eat too much food.
Hi, my name is Kyla. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. I play Ernie for short, a skilled spy having some difficulties in their career path of choice. They go by they, them pronouns and are never seen without their red lens goggles and a long flowing cape that drapes over one shoulder.
So last time on Dice and Pizza, the party basically went through the ruins of the Temple of Mitra after it was destroyed. And after going through their options on where to go next, they opted to go north to the small village of Aleeda. Zaba and Driftwood got into a fight at some point and are not talking, and Ernie decided to go get vegetables and food, and at some point they got a sword put to their throat after they put a sword to someone else's throat. There was a conflict because someone else tried to eat their food.
Steal, yeah. Someone tried to steal our food.
Yeah, Ernie and this guy who's wearing sort of like metal armor with like furs and with some purple accents, who's like 6 feet tall, has a sword at Ernie's throat, and Ernie has a machete at this guy's throat. The village is kind of hushed and kind of backed away to make space for what appears is a standoff. What do you do?
I think I'm just sizing this person up. Yeah, I don't know. Are they making eye contact with me?
Yes. Yeah, he's making eye contact with you.
Normally I'd step in, but I'm still miffed about what Driftwood said to me, and I'm just, it's not my problem.
Normally I'd step in. I kind of say to Zaba.
Oh, you're speaking to me now.
Well, kind of like off my shoulder, turned away. It looks like a guardian thing. Shouldn't you save people? Wouldn't a guardian step in right now?
You know, I've been a guardian all my life. I think you can too. You two can solve some problems for once.
Well, let prove it. Prove it then. Prove how the guardian system works.
To be fair, Ernie has not heard has not heard any of this because they're so focused.
Yeah, as the two of you begin to have your little back and forth sort of bickering about the guardian system and doing something.
I see you rolling your die.
Yeah, I'm going to roll a die because, oh, Jesus.
I'm going to roll a die too.
Okay, so he attempts to pull his sword back and like attack you.
Oh, okay.
But he rolled a 1, which is a catastrophe.
Maybe you two talking so flippantly like distracted them.
Yeah. Yeah. Things go slow-mo for you, Ernie. You see like him pull back the sword. He's going to yell at them as he's going to attack you, leaving him wide open for an attack.
I'm going to use a blunt edge. I'm going to try and whack them in the torso, or try to get them, or maybe the sternum, and get them winded.
Oh yeah, like knock their wind out. Yeah. He kind of stumbles back because of his catastrophes. He is caught off guard, and now you two kind of have space to begin dueling effectively.
Okay. Yeah, I looked at the machete. I'm like, I really wish I had my sword. I'm just trying to end the combat as quickly as possible.
Oh, you are?
Did you say that?
You didn't know.
You didn't know what I'm thinking.
Driftwood, why don't you solve something for once?
Well, why they say that, I'm going to charge. I'm going to
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
and that's what I'm going to charge.
Driftwood ignores, just continues eating and watching.
I think I'm going to throw the machete away because this machete is kind of useless. I'm going to try and grab their arm and I'm going to try and disarm them and take the swords.
With that D20.
Please no 4s. That's a 2. God damn it.
You like run, but because they're like bigger than you and they're also trying to attack you at the same time, you end up like thinking, oh yeah, I'll just like clap the sword between my hands and disarm them that way. But instead you grab the sword, like you grab like the handle of a sword. And so you grab the blade. So you take 1 point of damage.
Oh, yeah, well.
But you have a hand on the sword. You just didn't disarm him.
Can I wrench their hand down just like.
Well, it is his turn. So he's going to try and remove the sword from your clutches. That is a 9, which is a tough choice.
Okay.
He lets go of the sword and then tackles you.
Okay, so we're both just brawling at this point.
Yeah. He lets go of the sword and jumps and tackles you to the ground. You are now pinned underneath him.
Can I can I go for his eyes?
Yeah, go ahead and roll me an attack.
No holds back. Oh God, I'm rolling. Okay, that's a 9, so that's a tough choice.
Yeah, you managed to punch him in the eyes. You can either hold on to the sword, but you'll be stuck underneath him, or you can try and like dodge out of the way, but you have to let go of the sword.
Oh, come on. I'm trying to think how important this sword is to Ernie.
Is it your sword?
No. I'm going to roll to the side. This sword is not.
Yeah, you drop the blade and you roll off to the side. You manage to get up, and he also gets up and grabs the sword and goes back to attack you.
Come on, I don't have where's my machete?
Yeah, and he hits you for 2 points of damage as he slashes across your chest.
Oof. Okay. Well,
yeah.
Okay.
It's now your turn.
I'm gonna roll to see if this is. I mean, there is fully blood on the picnic table at this point. Like, before
I guess I was closer to the picnic table. So.
I mean, I rolled a nat 20, so Zaba will at this point intervene.
Okay. Oh, yeah, and that 20 to see if Zaba will intervene.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
How does Zaba intervene? Personal a little. I'm gonna jab this combatant with like in the shins with my spear.
Okay, roll a d20.
Wait, Zaba turns to Driftwood and says, "Fine, I'll do what a guardian does best." And I rolled a 6.
Okay. The spear is stuck in the shin. You can either let go or you can hang on and try and pull it out, but you'll be vulnerable to an attack if you hang on to the spear.
I will let go of the spear.
Can I do a sneak attack?
Oh yeah, because now there's another companion in combat.
Yeah.
Yes, you can do a sneak attack. You see the guy turn to face you, Zaba, as he pulls the spear out of his leg. It is now dual wielding a sword and a spear.
Woo!
So Zaba, you get hit for 3 points of damage as you get slashed by the sword and the spear. And your own spear.
That's okay. Well, okay, yeah. So now I'm going to do sneak attack. So once a nearby foe attacks a creature other than you may exploit their focus. You may immediately move behind them to perform one of the following actions. You can make a basic attack, but I'm going to do you incapacitate a commoner or minion by touching one of their pressure points. They fall to the ground unconscious for the next 10 minutes or until they are harmed.
You manage to find a weak point, and the guy just goes limp, just crying and crashes to the ground.
Should have done that earlier.
There's a giant gasp from the crowd as he hits the ground.
So Driftwood, with half like a pita pocket, casts Mend on both of them.
That's sweet of you.
Driftwood walks back to the table and keeps eating.
At this point, you hear the sounds of footsteps and more metal clanking as several more of guys dressed similarly to this guy come around the table, push the crowd back, and surround you all. Weapons drawn.
Can I do a hostage situation kind of thing?
Sure, yeah. You managed to prop him up and without wounding him. And you're surrounded by like 10 of these guys. And there's just silence hangs in the air as they're just like waiting for a command.
Oh dear.
I'm not affiliated with you.
Zaba just has his hands up. Driftwood's at the table eating a peanut pocket. Ernie's like, ha ha, I've got a hostage.
I think I take a step towards Driftwood and away from Ernie. Like these are not my tactics.
Ernie, your danger sense tingles as like you kind of feel the tension rising as like they inch closer. But right before like what you would assume is an attack, you hear a whoa, 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 and you see a man push through the crowd who's also about like 6-ish feet, wearing a mask. A crocodile kind of like carved wooden mask.
Does Zaba recognize this as a guardian?
Yes. You recognize instantly as this is a guardian. He immediately catches eye contact with you, Zaba, and says, fellow guardian, what is the situation here? What is happening?
Driftwood starts laughing.
Really
loud.
Is it like when you're nervous and you start laughing?
Or is it what kind of
It's
laugh
like kind
is
of a
it?
cruel
A
laugh.
cruel laugh. Okay. Well,
Like slamming like their hand on the table.
Okay. I think if I see there's a figure of authority who's here, I'm gonna lower the swords that I have pointed at this person's throat, but I'm not letting go of them like completely.
I think I immediately feel ashamed because my behavior is not that becoming of a guardian. I say, hello, my name is Zabia. It's not Zabia. Zabia? Like who? Zabia?
My name is Zaba. I imagine Zaba's so nervous.
Yes, Zaba mix up the word Zaba and guardian and says, my name is Zabia. I am Zaba, guardian of Kokuru Village. These are my companions, Erneas and Driftwoods.
You're not going to tell me to put the sword down.
Driftwood keeps laughing.
Honestly, I'm at a loss of words for my behavior.
I'm not.
This guardian puts a hand on your shoulder, Zaba, and says, are you a new guardian?
What do you mean, new guardian?
It's okay. Just, he pats you on the back and says,
I'm being pitied right now. I don't like it.
And he just looks around and he says, all of you, put your weapons away. Get out of my village. Clearly, you're causing trouble again. So all of you, get out of here. And he begins to like shoo them off.
Is Driftwood still laughing?
Yeah, Driftwood's kind of like recoiled, like they're trying to catch their breath.
The guardian here says, I'll be right back. Just gotta go tell off these men and their champion.
You didn't introduce yourself.
Oh, my name is Kurum. I'm the guardian of the village of Aleeda. Yeah, he's like, just wait right here. I gotta go make sure they don't cause any trouble on their way out of town. And you see him walk off and go into like one of these like sort of like, because there's like a lot of like huts and tents, and he goes in the one tent and like by the collar it comes out pulling like another man who's not wearing a mask, but you get a sense that this guy is like the boss. He's got like a big sword on his back and is wearing like full metal armor. Like you've never seen someone wear like a full-on suit of metal armor. Ernie, your analysis of this guy is that he's wielding a sword that is way too unwieldy for any person of reasonable combat intent. It's like a huge sword.
The real berserk situation over here.
Yeah. And you can kind of see in the distance the two of them arguing as he kind of shoves this guy along.
While they do that, I think Ernie like stands up kind of ramrod straight, dust off their clothes. If I don't know if either of you can tell, but they're also feeling a little ashamed about what happened and about
really?
how that battle went down, just because everything that they tried to do like went like basically like if their companions had seen them, they would have been laughed out of the arena. Like
that's why you're ashamed.
The battle did not go well.
Driftwood leaves.
Okay, where does Driftwood go?
Driftwood goes into like towards the markets, like alone.
Oh,
you are in like the center of the market. You're like in the food court center of the market. So you just start to go around to the stalls around the way to peruse goods.
The posture is like, well, I'm gonna go, and their hands are behind their back. Driftwood doesn't say anything.
Yeah, I think Ernie looks to the person with because that person that they're arguing with all the metal, they seem important, right?
Yes, they seem very important.
I think I look at the situation, I think a little, and I'm gonna tell Zaba, I'll be back. Keep us updated. And then I also go towards the market.
Kurum comes back and he says, "So, Zaba, what brings you to our small little farming village?"
My companions have left for now, but you may see them later in the evening. Has word of the golden dragon in the sky reached this village?
Yes. We could all see it. Couple of days ago, yes.
Indeed. That's good information to know. Thank you. But I'm curious. I'm curious what y'all are doing.
We kind of fade away from that to Ernie. You managed to find a blacksmith who is working on some like knives and stuff like that. And it's not quite Okaran steel, but it is steel from Odysseus, which they're one of the few places that makes top quality swords these days.
That is good to know. Do you happen to sell like hilts? Because I think this sword is with the shape. It's
a sheath. Yes.
Yes. Oh, I just said a hilt. Yes, a sheath.
He says, "Yeah. Do you have any rook?"
I think I'd get ripped off, and I'd probably give them a rook. I only have 2 rook left. That's an 18. Okay.
With an 18, if the blacksmith hands you 2 sheaths, one of which has a sword in it, and the other of which is designed especially for your sword. He says to you, "You overpaid, so I'm throwing in another sword."
I take out the other sword from the sheath.
So the sword that you got from the guard has like a cross guard on it, which you've never really worked with. You haven't seen too many swords like that. This other sword does not have a cross guard. It's just kind of like a straight, almost like a gladiatorial sword that you've seen in Tosu.
I'm probably still getting ripped off, but Ernie doesn't realize. I guess I nod my head and I head out.
So, Driftwood, you're kind of perusing the stalls. You're kind of perusing around, kind of looking at the wares. There's 2 things that kind of catch your eye. One, some interesting looking like chips that you've never seen before. You've probably seen a variety of it. Like back on Noro, it probably would have been like banana chips, but these are like a different kind of chips. They're like green and they're like fried. They look like they're made from vegetables versus fruits. You see a kind of snacky snack like that.
Yeah. So Driftwood kind of walks in and like waves at the store manager, clerk, owner. What are these?
These are, she says, these are zucchini chips.
Oh, zucchini. Is that like an onion?
It's like a long green vegetable.
Okay, very weird.
Have you ever had a cucumber? Because I have these cucumber chips as well.
That's also long and green.
Yes, but it's like chips. Have you ever had a pickle before?
Pickle crab?
No, just a pickle, like a pickled thing, because you can pickle things. I've got these pickled cucumbers over here.
Oh, like fermenting, right?
Yeah, fermenting. Yeah.
Oh well.
And then I've also got pickled chips over here.
Okay. You carry a lot of chips here.
Yeah, chips are the name of the game. It's going to be the food of the future. Everyone's going to be eating chips.
Food of the future, yes.
Yeah, that's my idea of a future.
I love your enterprising attitude. Are you selling these outside of Aleeda?
No, but if you are looking to bring them to other places, we can strike up a deal. A little supply demand kind of deal. I'm always looking for new vendors to bring my chips to.
The village I'm from, Noro, I think they would love these. Actually, maybe we're used to plantain chips over there. Have you had plantain?
No, I've never had plantain.
It's long and yellow, so it's not too different from what you're eating.
Oh,
yes.
We'll have to trade sometime.
Yes, they're sweeter up front. Do you mind if I try some of these right now?
Yeah, go. I have some samples, and she gestures to these wooden cups with samples in them, and there's various like dipping sauces you see too.
Wow, this is very exciting. I've never experienced food in this fashion before. What do you call this? Do you call this anything? Is this just
chips and sauce?
Sauce.
Yeah, chips and sauce. Yeah.
Sauce. I feel like the sauce would go great on other stuff also.
Like what? I hadn't considered that.
Have you tried just adding it like to meats, to like to fried veggies.
You asked that in a vegetarian village.
Well, a vegetarian, but the fried veggies, like putting some of this like on one of those pita pockets. That sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, actually, I have one. Driftwood pulls one out of the pocket of their pocket.
Holy dynamite.
Here, you can take it. I appreciate your hospitality. You can have this. I swear, I just got it. Still warm within the past hour.
Oh. Thank you. What was your name again?
My name is Driftwood from Noro. I'm traveling with and then Driftwood kind of like, I'm traveling. And I don't know. I just felt like I needed to get some air, What is your name, dear purveyor?
My name is Majira.
Majira. That's a lovely name. Are you from here?
Yep, born and raised.
Majira, I'd love to continue this conversation, but I am actually looking for something specific. I was wondering if you knew where to get a fishing rod around here.
You want to fish?
Yeah. You have a lake over there, correct?
Yeah, but nobody fishes.
Well, why is that? How come no one fishes around here?
You've probably heard some folks talk about it around. It's a thing, but we try not to disturb the buaya.
Buaya.
The guardian of the lake. Could be a myth, but I'm a bit superstitious. Sometimes I hear and see things at night. There's like this island in the middle of the lake, but I swear sometimes it moves, and I don't want to mess with a lake with a moving island, if you know what I mean. So if you want to get a fishing rod, you need to go to Odysseus, which is across the lake. But I don't know. I don't really like the people over there. They're a bit like, I'm all about like sustainable, preserved food for the future. They're kind of about, well, why don't we just turn everything into like food sludge that people can drink so they can eat faster? Let me create a utensil that has both a spoon and a fork, and a knife, 2 knives, and it's just a little bit too. It's like this octagonal thing. It's got like a fork, a spoon, a knife. It's like not like you'd think they would just put like little jagged edges on the spoon to make it like a spoon fork or a forked spoon. Instead, they've made it so it's like a pair of like of so it's like a pair of nunchucks effectively, and it's a little bit unwieldy to eat with.
Driftwood takes out their knife comb like this.
Oh my goodness. Yes, exactly like that, but with a spoon and a fork.
I don't know what a spoon is, but I'm very interested in what you're talking. Like Driftwood's trying to be like empathic to what they're saying, because there's like some level of anxiety, but they're also really like curious about this sludge food. Majira, thank you for sharing all of this with me. I don't mean to encroach or anything. Is anyone allowed by the lake?
Go to the lake at your own risk.
Okay. Which way is the lake?
The lake's she just points it in like north direction. Yeah.
Okay. Majira, thank you so much for your time. I'll see you soon. I'll return. I swear it.
Of course. It was very nice to meet you, Driftwood. Oh, take some of these chips before you go. And
Driftwood runs
she
back,
hands you,
stuffs it in the pockets.
She hands you a sampler pack of chips in these. They're in these nice like cloth bags. You theorize that these would actually be pretty great rations. They probably wouldn't go bad for a while.
I gesture like some chips that I'm trying as I leave the store.
As you sort of walk sort of back around the rest of the market, and you kind of come to like a road opening where like you're able to see the lake. You actually feel a sort of spiritual energy emanating from the lake that is very strong. It's not like beckoning you towards it, but you know that whatever the villagers are afraid of in the lake, perhaps they have a right to be afraid of what is in the lake. I guess now we'll cut over to Zaba and Kurum. So Zaba, while you were with Kurum, he explained that there is this magical grove that only shows itself once a year. Deep in the mountains, down there's this mysterious grove that once a year shows itself, and that's where the Guardians will all meet.
How does one call a meeting?
We never had a need to call a meeting because we just knew this one day every year was the day we'd have to be there. So I suppose you'd have to go to each village one by one and ask every guardian to show up at the sacred grove, which I can't imagine what sort of problems your village has to deal with, but with the problems that I have to deal with, I can't leave my village for that long.
Even so, I have this map here, and I take out this cloth map that we've been using that's like embroidered with the continents. And I say, could you mark down on this where that grove is?
Yeah, I can mark it down, but my goodness, this is an old map. And he begins to pencil in other things on your map, like other cities, other landmarks. He like adjusts some of the topography. He's like, yeah, this actual like Cape thing doesn't exist anymore. These islands don't exist anymore.
How does the island disappear?
Stranger things have happened. I mean, these islands actually appeared recently. Things would be a changing. But yeah, he pencils in a few more things.
Must have so many problems if islands just disappear and appear on a whim.
Most importantly, though, he kind of pencils in like other things across the map because like your map is like pretty big. Like this is a huge like kind of continent map. He kind of gives you a rundown. Like yes, like this great desert that has always been at the center. That's where the legend has it that Tankai originally brought about the 100 Years of Sun, and that's where the ruins of the Okaran Empire are. Like their cities are all destroyed, and somewhere in there.
If there's still a way to pass information along to other guardians, I would warn them that Tenkai was headed toward that location. If there are any guardians who are able to go to that meeting, perhaps we can restart the old ways again.
That might be nice. But what you saw this morning with your companions, what happened to you and your companions is a pretty normal occurrence. The people of Odysseus, they're rapidly expanding not only their territory, but their land and their power. And that is something that for my village is not great. There's been conflict and we are fighting over resources. And I'm just one guardian against... There's more people like those guards and thugs you fought that your friend fought earlier. The old ways are great, and I think it would be great to have them back. But until I cannot make any promises. But if any other guardians come this way, I'll let them know that you would like to do something like that. But unfortunately, times are tough.
I understand.
Feel free to stay the night, and we can help with supplies.
That would be much appreciated. There's just foods.
Yeah, I'll send someone to stock your canoes by morning.
Well, I should find my companions.
Do I bump into Driftwood on the way out is the question.
Yeah, you actually see Driftwood staring at the lake as you kind of walk out with your two swords on your back.
I suddenly walk next to them, but I did it really quietly so they don't notice. I don't think they notice that I'm there.
Are you right behind me?
I'm like next to you, but suddenly behind you.
Driftwood like suddenly turns and then knocks into Ernie, and they fall like on their ass.
Oh no! Can I try and grab you before you fall?
Roll me a d20.
Okay. Roll so that Driftwood doesn't fall on their ass.
I was hoping one of you would scream.
Why would I scream? Well, I got a 17.
Surprise.
Yeah, Driftwood, yeah. So Driftwood, you like turn and you bump right into Ernie and you fall back, and Ernie, you like reach your hand out and grab them by the shirt and pull them back up.
So a loose chip like flies into the air and Driftwood tries to catch it and then match it.
Yeah.
I'm just holding you. I'm holding you by the I'm holding you by the shirt and you're just kind of like
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I rolled an 11.
Rolled an 11? That's a success. That's a success.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you're getting pulled up, Driftwood, you flip a chip into the air and catch it.
Are there like kids or someone to impress watching around?
I mean, you impress me.
Yeah.
You like glance back towards the chip stall and you just see Majira just staring at you. She looks very impressed.
I like give a thumbs up.
She's got like her hands, like she puts a second hand on her face as she's watching you eat the chips.
Yeah.
Nice reflexes.
She gives you a thumbs up back.
Right. These are pretty good. You want some?
Sure.
Do you want me to? Driftwood throws it in there.
Do I have to roll to catch it?
Yeah, roll me a d20.
I rolled a 17 again.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, you catch
Whoa.
it effortlessly.
So now you're getting your good rolls, huh?
I hate it here. It's because I have my sword now. I have my swords.
So what's the parkour move? I want to know how this chip is caught.
Ernie does a gainer and catches the
Holy
chip.
That's so unnecessary.
It's so I'm stunned silent.
Yeah.
And then I look at Majira to see what their reaction is.
Majira's like,
Driftwood collects himself. So have you heard anything weird about the lake here?
The guardian was mentioning the guardian of the lake.
You didn't hear that.
I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear that. You went.
Never mind. Ernie's like, the who? The lake?
Yeah, Driftwood's like, yeah, the lake. Have you heard anything?
I look at the lake. It's pretty big, huh?
Apparently that island moves.
There's an island?
There's like, oh yeah, Driftwood's not wearing.
You're still squinting.
I'm never gonna get used to seeing bodies of water.
Well, yes, there is an island that moves. That's odd, and from this spot, I can already feel this chaotic sense from the lake.
Ernie tries really hard to feel the chaotic sense and gets nothing.
Driftwood actually just stands up and starts going to the lake.
okay.
I mean, I don't stop them. I guess I'm sitting on the bank, so I guess I just watch.
Driftwood turns back and says, "I'll be right back. I just want to check something.
Don't go too far out of sight.
Is there anyone around? Or there's like no one around?
There's just Ernie. Just Ernie's around,
Okay.
like behind you.
Okay. Can I see the island?
Yeah, you see this sort of like dark looking like landmass out in the lake.
And is it moving?
It's less so moving, and it looks like it's more drifting. Like you can't quite tell if it's planted in the ground or if it's drifting as sort of the water moves.
Okay. Can I sense anything? Wow, since my feet are already in the water, can I sense anything that I haven't sensed already?
Go ahead and roll me a 20-sided die.
15.
15. Okay. You sense the presence of an ancient sort of magical creature. Like you feel that the lake is in fact home to something. You're a bit too far away to communicate with it, but you do know that the villagers are in fact correct. Like there is something in the lake.
Driftwood puts both of their hands like in the water and casts Relieve.
As you dip both your hands into the lake and you cast Relieve, I feel like almost like a sort of like blue, like luminescent light kind of emanates and like ripples through the water, and like through this island. Whatever creature lives here, you do sort of feel it relax, and you start to see the island at the center. You begin to see it like sink a little bit. And eventually it disappears beneath the surface of the lake.
Driftwood closes their eyes and gives a short prayer for Mitra. Goddess Mitra, I know you may be far from your site, from where you were receiving your prayers. And I know your temple has recently just been destroyed by Tenkai, but I am calling in hopes that you're able to relieve the spirit that is in this lake. So Driftwood leaves, and opens her eyes, like recollects themselves, and then once they get out, they're really cold. Like their feet and their hands are very cold, like ice cold. So they run back to Ernie, and they're like, "Oh my god, that water is so cold."
Oh my god. Can I try and like rub your hands to warm them up?
Can Zaba have come looking for y'all and find y'all at that moment? What are you two doing?
Driftwood took a swim.
That explains nothing.
Zaba, do you have anything warm? Driftwood's freezing.
I have like a cloak. It's like a long rectangular piece of cloth that can be like wrapped around. I think I have it around my belt right now. But I say, well, I have this. The canoe's a little far to go back to right now, so I untie the belt, which is it's a long piece of cloth. So I sometimes use it like a scarf, and I I mean,
Do you just hand it to me instead of
yeah,
to...
I give it to, here.
Oh, okay. I think I drape it over your shoulders, Driftwood.
Blasted Eridus. This.
Eridus?
I feel foolish. Foolish.
Oh, okay. Eridus played a trick on you. The waters here don't seem to be as warm as the ocean.
No.
Let's get Driftwood someplace warmer.
Yeah. As the three of you re-enter the village, Kurum greets you all again and leads you to a tent that they've set up for the three of you. Inside there is a bonfire and some like wool, like bedding, some blankets, some snacks, some chips. There's like a little like basket, Driftwood, on your bed in particular that has like chips in it, all kinds of chips, more chips.
Aww.
Ernie, on yours there's a bucket and a washcloth. And some like first aid supplies, and then Zaba, yours has a curtain that you can pull around yours so you can sleep without your mask.
Can there also be a sewing kit in mine? Because my shirt, my entire day I've been walking around, there's like a gashing hole in my shirt.
There's like some new clothes. There's like straight up new clothes for everybody too. There's some like
we get new clothes every single village we go to. It's very nice of them.
Mm-hmm.
This place is known for their wool, though. So
yes, exactly. Yeah, there's some nice cloaks here.
Ooh.
Yeah,
They're much warmer than.
I dump my cloak over Driftwood.
Yeah.
Even though it's already a bonfire, so now it's like really warm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kurum says, feel free to keep these clothes and these blankets. We have plenty.
Thanks, Kurum. They go back on their bed. They like cover themselves in like all of the clothes. But before they kind of like lay down and become catatonic, Driftwood uses their knife comb to open up one of the bags of chips and then says, Zaba. So Driftwood throws a handful of chips over to Zaba.
It's a mess.
Roll me a D20, Zaba, to catch some of these chips.
I'm not trying to catch them. I just all I see is Driftwood.
You just get hit in the face with chips.
Yeah, Driftwood obviously had noticed maybe that Zaba was again the chips, but now I'm picking them up off the 10th floor and eating.
They're really good, Zaba. Like these would make great rations.
Do you have any more of those?
Driftwood's kind of like too tired and cold, but like underneath the blanket, like a bag of chips falls out.
Like you're just stockpiling them next to you. Like
yeah, they're on the bed. They're like covered. They're like warm with me right now.
We'll keep these in our travels.
Don't eat them all.
So I'm assuming the party goes to bed. Is there anything that the party does to prepare for bedtime?
I think Ernie is still mending their shirt.
Okay.
Just because they have new clothes, but it'd be good to have lighter clothes if needed. And I think they actually sleep outside.
What?
The desert air was where they're used to sleeping in cold temperatures, so the tent is a little too warm for them. Yeah, but they sleep right in front of the entrance. So if you have to go outside, you have to be careful not to step on them.
I don't know what the purpose of this is. But Zaba just very quickly gets ready for bed and just closes the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ernie, you do not sleep that well outside. The air up here is a lot more humid and cold than you're used to. It's not as dry as you thought it would be. So you're actually like a little bit more cold than you anticipate. So you did not sleep that well. Come morning when you all wake up, you're feeling a lot more rejuvenated. You're feeling a lot more yourself. And Zaba, as you are getting dressed, you notice that the burn you suffered from Tankai still hasn't fully healed. It doesn't like hurt. It doesn't sting. It doesn't feel like the skin is damaged, but like you are noticing you are sweating a little bit more than normal.
Driftwood starts doing their stretches. What's happening today?
Well, we were going to go to Noro.
Who, we?
Yes, we.
I think we should save Noro for later.
I feel like we should go to Odysseus, actually.
Never mind. I think we should go to Noro.
You really.
Odysseus and Tosu don't. Anyways, nothing.
No, you said something.
Well, I was told that they have some interesting wares over there. They have a relationship with the lake that is very different than Aleeda does. And I'm curious about this lake and what's going on here. It leads me to believe that there is something worth seeing over there. The folks around here, the merchants don't seem to have...
Well, if you need time to prepare for us to go to Noro.
Let me just say that Noro is never asks if folks are going over there. And if I have anything to say about it, then I will be your guide to Noro. And so if you want to go to Noro, you have to do what I say.
You have to go to me.
Well, of course we'd be guests, just as you two were guests in Kokoro.
Okay. Well, then I'm trying to buy a fishing rod. I'm just going to be straight up. They don't sell any fishing rods over here.
I think Ernie takes off their goggles and packs them, and they're like, "Okay, if we have to, I'll go to."
Why do you not want to go over there?
I don't really want to run into the people that we ran into yesterday morning.
I'm surprised that you're intimidated by this.
I'm not intimidated. You just okay. Fine. Let's go to pieces, okay? But I am not intimidated by those punks, okay?
But you just said.
Well, I just hope we don't have a repeat of what happened.
I have a sword now.
Looks like you have 2 swords.
Yes.
Do you know how to use that sword?
Ernie doesn't even answer that.
I look at Zaba.
So
I'm like, I don't know if there's many other ways to use a sword.
Roll me a d20.
11.
You read that it's sort of like a blacksmith's stamp is on the blade, and it's a name, Manu, on it.
Oh yeah, I think I'll look at it and be, Manu.
Oh, is that what it says?
Ernie, you recognize that name as an old blacksmith from before your time from Tosu.
This is a Tosu sword.
Driftwood, come look at this inscription.
For what
Driftwood.
reason?
Oh, yep, that is a sword, and there's writing on it.
Driftwood, do you need a sword?
Excuse me. I grab it back from you.
I don't know if I want you to have 2 swords.
Driftwood's watching a sword go in front of their face back and forth.
Do you realize how precious this sword is?
Hey, careful with that.
It's an old sword that you paid one whole rook for.
This sword is priceless. This sword is worth more than everything that your village could give in Rook.
I'm so
for a piece of Tosu heritage from Manu, the storied blacksmith. Okay,
I don't want to talk to you anymore. Can we
Driftwood's
leave?
like, whoa. Driftwood's pompadour almost gets like sliced in the process of the sword going back and forth. Okay, Ernie, you have 2 swords, right?
Yes, and
why? I don't know. I don't need a sword. Zaba, would you be comfortable if I had a sword?
I'd be more comfortable with you.
The only sword I'm willing to give is the wavy one.
Okay. So you the Tosu one. You want the Tosu one, right?
Of course.
Okay, fine. And Driftwood like kind of takes it.
You don't have to take this sword if you don't want to. This is
it's like going back and forth.
Ernie does not want. Ernie does not.
It's going back and forth in front of Zaba now.
Ernie doesn't seem super happy about this, but it's only doing it because Zaba feels more comfortable with that.
I just don't want you to impale someone with 2 swords.
Ernie just gives a long stare.
I just start walking.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Driftwood, you just take the sword?
Yeah, Driftwood and Ernie's hand, I'm sure, on the sword right now. And I look directly at Ernie, and I'm like, if it'll stop Zaba's shouting, I will give you the sword back. I promise.
Okay, fine. Thank you. I just give you the sheath and everything.
Great. The three of you begin to walk along the edge of the lake. Driftwood, you notice that the island is not present in the lake today, like it was yesterday. The water is very still, very still. And the three of you begin to make your way around as you begin to get closer and closer to this ever-growing city that appears to get bigger and bigger the closer you get. There are these walls made of stones that have been like sort of cemented together, piled high. And there is a huge portcullis gate, actually. And it's a very medieval looking castle. This is like unlike any architecture the three of you have ever seen before. It feels like very industrial to your eyes in a way that feels very unsettling. They're flying a purple flag above.
Is it purple?
In one of the parapets. Yeah.
The person we fought wore purple.
Yes.
And all the other people that came out after.
Correct. And as you get closer, you see more of those same kind of like guards dressed in like these furs and metal armors with like these metal caps.
Ernie just stares at all of them.
Stop looking at them.
And the three of you arrive at the portcullis, which has been raised. And there's just two guards at the front that put these long sort of they're longer than your spear, Zaba, but they have these like axe heads on it.
Ooh.
And they like halberds.
Halberds.
Yeah, and they cross them in front of the three of you. What is your business here in the city of Odysseus?
Fishing rod.
Very well. For you and your party, please pay the toll. It is 1 rook. You'll have access to the city. Yes, 1 rook.
Do you think we can like sneak around the back or something?
I can turn into a bird.
Wait, I say, hold up. We have a guardian present.
What village are you the guardian of? And what business do you have with our champion?
Business. I am Zaba, guardian of Kokuru Village, chosen by Bandit at birth. I have no business with your champion.
I whisper to Zaba last minute. We're setting up a trade channel.
Yeah, or we want to learn more about the dragon.
Well, yes, I have no business with your champion because my fellow travelers and I are setting up a trade route for our villages. We've been traveling. I've been providing protection for them.
Driftwood, do you have any more of the chips?
Yeah, Driftwood finds a loose bag of zucchini chips. Yes, we're trading these. Looks kind of unimpressive.
Give them here. I take one from Driftwood and I like pass them out to the guards. A free sample.
Our rations.
They begin to kind of munch like, not bad. Zaba, roll me a d20.
Yeah, we did give them. That was our rations, huh?
We have food, but I was like, no.
We have more at the tent.
We're running out of money. 14.
That is a success. The guards pull back their halberds, and they say, "Very well. The three of you may enter. Enjoy your stay in Odysseus." And they go back to guarding the gate. And the three of you enter into a town. All three of you like almost simultaneously step onto this sort of dirt road. And you just hear a as you step into like mud. And you realize like the roads here are just like very muddy, very dirty. There's like a wagon that rolls by that splashes you all with like water and mud. The city is like has these very narrow roads with these very tall like buildings that are sort of like haphazardly constructed. You hear a lot of noise. There's a lot of people shouting, screaming. You see people pushing mine carts. You see all kinds of people peddling wares and talking and socializing and like running around. Lots of these guards everywhere, all with all kinds of weapons. You don't see the guard that you fought the other day.
We stick out.
Yes, the three of you very much stick out. A
100%.
guardian,
yes.
A guardian and a villager from Noro definitely would stick out. Ernie kind of blends in.
Fishing rod. Driftwood kind of is like singularly focused. Like this is all pretty gross.
Yeah. I mean, did we want to talk to the champion?
No.
Okay. Me neither.
That's not a guardian.
The three of you make your way down to the marketplace where you see just people packed shoulder to shoulder haggling for goods. And after some searching, you're able to find a fisherman who's selling fishing rods and he's willing to trade. So what can you offer him to trade for the fishing rod?
I still have chips. Do I? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
okay.
You've got chips.
So Zaba's like, I pull it out. The instant I pull it out, Zaba's like, what are you doing?
We can go back to the chips vendor. Our chips.
Yes, we have a great relationship with them. So
Okay.
we're fine. How would these to trade for you?
He tastes one of them. Roll me a D20.
20.
Yes.
He's like, yeah. He just hands you the fishing rod, no words, takes the bag of chips.
Well, I kind of like whisper over to Zaba and Ernie. Well, I feel like we did everything we needed to do here right then and there.
Yeah, I kind of want to get out of here too.
Yeah, it's kind of smells for sure.
The last thing I ask, what is this person's name?
I'm
gonna make you come up with a name right now.
Yeah. Tiors.
Tiors. What can you tell me about this champion of yours?
I mean, the people like him. He's not part of the royal family, so he's kind of like the people's champion in a lot of ways. Can probably be a bit brash or a bit, rough around the edges, but he's, not a bureaucrat, so I kind of like that.
Absolutely. Zaba doesn't know what a king or a bureaucrat is. I see. Well, we've taken up enough of your time. Let's go.
As you're making your way out, you see the champion, Jack, the guy in the full suit of metal armor, bringing in Sidon. Sidon, your pal from Tosu, the runaway heir of Tosu. The man's eyes go wide with joy, and he says, "Ernie, my friend!" And he goes to try and hug you, but then at that point, Jack yanks the chain, and you see Sidon just go, "Ah!" And he kind of falls over and gets dragged up. And he's like, "Ernie, it's not as bad as it looks. I'm doing quite well. It was good to see you."
I
oh my
mouth
goodness.
what are you doing here?
It's just being dragged
This
on
is
the
where
ground.
I ended up after we parted ways, good friend. You should come visit me sometime.
Yeah, talk later. But please be
Isn't that
quiet.
right, Jack? Ernie, it's so good to see you.
Lower your voice.
You know that person.
Let's get out of here first.
Dice and Pizza is Mya Worrell as Zaba, Justin Ricafort as Driftwood, Kyla Worrell as Ernie, and Derek Aiello as the guide. Cover art is by Gene Young. Music is by Idabar Ben Zimra, with additional sound design and sound effects by Brian Kim. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Dice and Pizza for updates on the show, and check out the video or audio version of this on YouTube or wherever you get your local podcasts. What a wild ride that was, from combat to learning more about the Guardians, to discovering chips, and going to Odysseus, the biggest city that Zaba, Ernie, and Driftwood have been to ever. Thank you so much for tuning into our show this week. Our next episode will be coming to you in 2 weeks on Monday, November 29th. We'll see you then, and hopefully, Ernie will see Sidon again.